A galactic council had one rule that superseded all others. Civilizations that resisted integration were to be erased. Not destroyed. That would be wasteful. Erased. Their history scrubbed from databases, their monuments dismantled, their very name excised from the collective memory of 1,000 worlds. It was efficient. It was merciful, they claimed, and it had worked for 3,000 years, until humanity. Commander Jakara of the Ascendancy Fleet stood before the council chamber's viewport, mandibles clicking with what might have been satisfaction. Behind her, the holographic record played for the assembled delegates. Earth, the blue-green marble, moments before its scheduled integration. The humans had refused the council's terms. They had rejected the offer to join as a client species, to surrender their weapons, their sovereignty, their stubborn insistence on self-determination. The erasure protocol is complete, Jakara announced. Every reference to humanity has been purged from council archives. Their planet has been reclassified as Resource World 7743. In 3 generations, no species will remember they existed. The council members, beings of crystalline thought, gaseous intellect, and ancient-scaled wisdom, signaled their approval through their respective means. Another problem solved. Another defiant species rendered into cosmic footnotes, then into nothing at all. Jakara should have known better. She had studied the humans during the integration negotiations. She had seen something in their eyes, something that made her dorsal plates itch with unease. But orders were orders, and the Ascendancy did not tolerate doubt. The first sign came 6 months later. A council patrol discovered a derelict station at the edge of the Sagittarius Arm, its hull scarred by weapons fire. On every surface, burned into the metal with cutting lasers, were symbols, human symbols, and a message in 15 languages, including Galactic Standard. Humanity was here, we will not be forgotten. Jakara ordered the station destroyed. The symbols were catalogued, analyzed, then deleted from all records. A minor inconvenience. Desperate survivors, nothing more. But the messages kept appearing. On asteroids, on abandoned ships, on the hulls of council vessels that ventured too close to certain nebulae. Always the same defiant declaration, sometimes accompanied by coordinates, dates, names. Each one was destroyed, erased, expunged. Yet for every message the council eliminated, 3 more appeared. The humans, it seemed, had not been eradicated. They had scattered. Jakara's investigation revealed the truth that made her blood run cold. When the council fleet had arrived at Earth, expecting a simple subjugation, humanity had already launched everything that could fly. Thousands of ships, military vessels, civilian transports, generation arcs, even converted cargo haulers, had scattered into the void like seeds on solar winds. They had known they couldn't win. So they had chosen to ensure they couldn't lose. Find them, the council ordered. Every ship. Every human. Complete the erasure. For 15 years, the Ascendancy Fleet hunted. They found human colonies on ice moons and desert planets, in asteroid habitats and converted space stations. Each time, the humans fought with a ferocity that defied logic. They used weapons that violated a dozen council conventions. They modified their own biology to survive in environments that should have killed them. They refused to surrender even when defeat was certain. And before each colony fell, they would carve their message one more time. On the planet's surface, visible from orbit. On every ship, every suit, every piece of equipment. Some went further, encoding human history into the genetic structure of local microbes, into the crystalline matrices of asteroids, into radio signals bounced between stars. Humanity was here. We existed. Remember us. Jakara stood in the ruins of what had been a human settlement on a moon orbiting a red dwarf. 300 souls had made their stand here. 300 had died rather than submit to integration, and there, melted into the rock face of a canyon. Letters 20 meters tall spelled out a name: Maria Chen, Teacher, Earth, 22872342. Humanity will return. Not just humanity. A person, a name. A life that the council had tried to erase, now immortalized in stone. For the first time in her military career, Jakara felt something that her species had forgotten millennia ago: doubt. She accessed the classified files, the ones that recorded every erasure the council had performed. Hundreds of species, thousands of worlds, all reduced to numbers, resources, forgotten dreams. And for the first time she wondered, What had they all been trying to say? What messages had they carved that the council had burned away? The report she filed was concise. The human population has been reduced to an estimated 12 colony ships. Location unknown. Erasure protocol cannot be completed. The humans have seeded their history across 400 star systems. Removing all traces would require sterilizing those systems entirely. Recommendation: reclassify mission. The council's response was immediate. Continue the hunt. Erase them all. But Jakara had seen enough. She had watched humans sacrifice everything, not for victory but for memory, for the simple, defiant insistence that they had existed, that they mattered, that their story deserved to be told. It was illogical. It was inefficient. It was the most terrifyingly human thing she had ever witnessed. When her ship malfunctioned and accidentally transmitted the coordinates of the remaining human colony ships to a coded frequency, one that only those ships would recognize, Jakara told herself it was simply a tactical error. When she failed to report a sighting of human vessels entering an uncharted nebula, she classified it as instrument failure, and when she carved a single word into her private quarters bulkhead, she told herself it was merely anthropological curiosity. The word was remember. 2 centuries later, long after the Ascendancy had collapsed and the Council had fragmented into warring factions, a new species joined the galactic community. They called themselves the Reclaimed, and they had an interesting origin story. They had been saved, they said, by nomadic humans who had shared technology, knowledge, and one burning lesson: never let anyone erase who you are. The humans themselves had vanished, scattered to the far reaches of space, but everywhere the Reclaimed looked they found messages, carved in stone, encoded in genetics, whispered in quantum fluctuations between stars. Humanity had kept its promise. Their name was carved into the cosmos itself, and now 1,000 species were learning to read it.